Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Is today Sunday or is today Friday? I'm not quite certain of that. I'm a little
Well, technically,
confused on what the hell I just saw just now. What's that, Matthew?
technically it's past midnight, so it's actually Saturday, but it's whatever.
Yeah, but we watched the event just now. So I was.
What event
Thanks
would
for
that
screwing
be?
up the fucking joke.
And what event would that be?
Thanks.
Because
The NXT Takeover Dallas. Thank you very much. I thought today was Sunday. Truthfully, the way this event
yes,
went,
yes, this
man,
was
it seemed to me like I was watching WrestleMania.
NXT Takeover WrestleMania.
Let me ask you a question. With the crowd reaction, with just the amount of people they had there, which to me looked close to about 10,000 people, could you imagine if they had 100,000 people in that arena or stadium and they had NXT TakeOver in the Dallas Cowboys Stadium and had over 100,000 people there? Could you imagine how embarrassing that would be for Vince McMahon's main roster product?
Vince is probably thinking, wait, Triple H's little developmental brand is outdoing my WrestleMania?
Well,
I'm fired!
well, technically, if you think about it, Matt, they pretty much did at this point, wrestling wise. Like I just said off the record, and now I'm going to say it on the record since we are online and I'm going to go on the statement to say that the only thing saving WrestleMania 32 from being better than NXT Takeover is the shock value that we get at the end of these results of these matches.
Okay.
Because
Since
action wise,
since
you're
you brought,
not gonna see
let me
them
just say,
outdo NXT.
yeah, since you bringing up the shock value, there has to be some ballsy shock value in the world title match to make that match even come close to what we saw. I mean, we'll discuss what happened with the Finn Balor Joe match, and we both have different viewpoints on that. But point is, Triple H and Roman Reigns has got to have some ballsy shock value to make that match even worth watching.
Well, I know of a way they could make this very shock value, and then we'll get into the actual review for NXT Dallas. Here's the deal. The Rock helps Roman Reigns win, beats Triple H, screws him over, and Rock helps Shane McMahon defeat The Undertaker. Then The Rock, Vince McMahon, Shane McMahon, and Roman Reigns come on the show after Shane has his victory, because he's actually going to have the main event with Undertaker. And Vince McMahon goes out to say, fuck you, Vince, or fuck Triple H, fuck Stephanie, and I planned this all along to screw over The Undertaker out of being in WrestleMania.
You know what this kind of reminds me
My
of?
guy, we go with Vince McMahon as my guy. He's the face of this company, and Roman Reigns gets the microphone, looks at everybody, and says, you all can kiss my ass. At 100 and something thousand people in the fucking Arlington, Texas stadium. I think you want shock value, that would be fucking shock value right there. And you get realism, genuine reactions, and you would also get the real, true reality here. Vince McMahon loves Roman Reigns. Make it reality on storylines. There you
Okay.
go.
All right. Now, the only thing that I have against that was too much Rock involvement. But if that's how they want to do it, that's fine. But the way you
Hey, Rock's been tweeting for the last 2 months. He's gonna do something that's gonna make history and shock the world.
Okay,
What better way to do that?
all right. But the way you sort of describe it, the fact that Vince somewhat planned this from the start to get Triple H and Stephanie out of the picture so he and Shane can run things. It sort of reminds me of the setup with the corporate ministry.
Well, in a way, yes, but only one thing, without the stupid, idiotic ministry garbage.
But the way that storyline set up with Vince being the what was it? Suppose the voice that Undertaker was taking orders from, or however that storyline went. It just the way you're
I don't know.
on it goes.
We'll get more discussion with that once we've gotten through the
Okay, let's
entire
get on
review.
the WWE bullshit
Dallas.
train and get on to what we're all here to talk about. And
All right, sounds like a plan. All right, so first match on the card was the NXT Tag Team Championships. The Revivals, the champions, Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder, defending the titles against American Alpha, Jason
Alpha.
Jordan and Chad Gable. I said
Okay.
American Alpha.
All right, you cannot pick a better match to start off a takeover with. I'm going to say it right here. That match was a 5.
I'm in 100% agreement with you.
It was entertaining. It was close to the wire. You had no idea who was going to win. It came down to great tag team abilities.
Yeah, I have to agree. This American Alpha team, I've never seen. It was the first time I ever watched them in action, and I have to say I was very impressed by him. The guy Jason, what's his name? Jason Jordan. He was very impressive. I was impressed by his in-work ability. I definitely see him as a successful singles competitor when he makes it to the main roster eventually, and he was outstanding. So is Gable. He not really any botches on their part, but that one thing that one move that the Revivals did was a fuck up, and they messed up on that move. Fans, I think, were even chanting "You fucked up" on their tag team move that they performed. Yeah, on Jason Jordan, I believe it was. And that was about the only thing on that in that entire match that really was bad. Other than that, the whole damn thing was great from beginning to end. There was nothing much more you could ask for. It was a classic old school tag team title match that just went back and forth. You had pinfall after pinfall, and that is what we need to see on the main roster. We need to see those close calls and just regular simplistic moves performed in the ring to build momentum in a match. These guys don't even do that anymore. That's another reason why WWE's current product sucks.
That is why NXT is so much better. It gives you great matches, great storyline build up, and they rely on actual wrestling ability. They don't build it on get boring storylines of who's better. A bunch of guys dressed up like unicorns, or a bunch of guys who think they're better just because they're not from America or whatever.
Okay, I mean, you didn't have to go to the shittiest, crappiest thing of the barrel there to do a comparison.
The whole point. But that's the problem. You got shitty tag team division in WWE where the point of the name you're going to put the belts on the line, and then you have an awesome match that has no comparison. That cannot even be touched.
There's no, debate here from me on this. I am in 100% agreement with you. I can't believe that WWE has the tag team titles on the New Day, who has actually performed pretty well tag team wise in tag team matches overall. But I it really blows me away how they could have the tag team titles on them and not have them defend it. To me, that's idiotic and completely uncalled for. In all honesty, that match, their tag titles should be on the line in a ladder match with a multi-man match.
Yes.
Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens should be for the Intercontinental title in a singles match, one-on-one.
Well,
That as simple as that.
yeah, we discussed that earlier. So, what was your favorite spot in the tag team match?
I don't know. There was a lot of stuff that happened all in that match, so it was hard for me to even define my favorite moment outside of the ending. I thought it was pretty cool that finally the Revivals lost their tag titles, which was made me pretty happy because all they ever do is cheat in every freaking match. They remind me of two versions of Triple H in a way, so it's kind of aggravating and annoying. So yeah, I was pretty happy that the American Alpha won the tag titles from the Revivals.
Well,
You?
yeah, they do. Oh man, it's really hard to pick, but just the ending alone was great.
Exactly, same exact thing I just said. All right, now moving on. The next match after that, the worst match on the card, despite the fact that one of my favorite wrestlers was in this match, Austin Aries versus Baron Corbin. God Almighty, was this a fucking dull and shitty match? I could not stomach watching this.
And it's not Aries' fault. The problem of the match
No.
is solely on Corbin.
Yeah, I swear to God, they ever put Baron Corbin on the main roster, I think that we are going to all want to kill ourselves. This
If
guy
he was
is an
the main roster, and my God, for some whacked out reason, they put him in a match against Ryback. You pretty much got the Brock Lesnar Goldberg WrestleMania 20 match all over again.
No, that's probably worse than that. Baron Corbin and Ryback couldn't even compare to Goldberg and Brock Lesnar's match. That's how bad it would be.
I was just trying to think of the worst match possible in comparison.
Yeah, and even that wouldn't even help make it even comparable to the worst match that ever was done. Okay?
Okay.
This guy, Baron Corbin, absolutely sucks. I think his in-ring talent is bullshit. I mean, he's got a few unique moves, but other than that, his whole in-ring wrestling is just very slow, dull, and boring. There's nothing exciting about the guy.
When he debuted on NXT, people liked him because he was big, he could beat guys in quick matches, and he had the crowd starting to count down how many seconds it took him to beat a guy. And again, he beat a bunch of jobbers, made him look good. And when they put him in full-length matches, you could see that really he was all hyped and it kind of just fiddled.
Well, I'll be perfectly honest with you. Goldberg is better than him.
Yeah.
That's how sad this guy Baron Corbin is. I think fucking William Regal would make Baron Corbin look pathetic. Worse than he did to Goldberg.
They do, but here's the thing. I expected the match to. I knew Aries was going to win, and we all know he was going to win.
Yeah, it was his first match ever. Why would he lose to a guy who's been
John back?
for a while? Hey, what's up, John?
Just let you know I'm alive.
All right, sounds good, man. Sounds good. You've been watching the show, been caught up with this shit.
Because we can have you do a little recap to join in.
Wait,
all right.
What match are you at?
We are talking about Baron Corbin and Austin Aries. We just finished doing the tag team titles match. Before we go ahead and give our ratings on that, go ahead and give us your rating on the tag team titles match.
Oh yeah, that was a very good match. I give that a 4 out of 5.
All right, sounds good, man. And Baron Corbin, Austin Aries.
This match, I didn't think this match was all that great. I've never been a big fan of Baron Corbin.
Neither have I.
Yeah.
Match was pretty slow. Mm, it was
Out of
alright.
all the
I'll give it.
Yeah, out
I
of
give
all
it.
the matches, it was probably a 3 at best.
Yeah, I'll give it a 3. 3 out of 5.
I give it a 2.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
That's
Here's the thing. Here's the thing that I was about to bring up. I knew Aries was going to win, but I thought he was going to win by submission, by his submission move. So I was kind of let down by a simple, quick pin roll.
well, me personally, I didn't really care until the ending happened because this match absolutely sucked. Worst fucking way to introduce Austin Aries into the
Yeah.
WWE. I think he is the worst fucking guy to have. Baron Corbin's worse than Roman Reigns, if you didn't hear me say that once before, John. But yeah, Baron Corbin absolutely sucks. Roman Reigns outdoes this guy in his sleep, in my personal opinion. That's how fucking bad this guy is. Goldberg's better than Baron Corbin. This guy is an absolute slowpoke in the ring. He slows down momentum. I mean, Samoa Joe, as much overweight he is, he could use a little bit of lost weight, but he still puts on a better show than Baron Corbin, and Baron Corbin's in better shape than Samoa Joe. And Samoa Joe can put a high-paced match, as he did with Finn Balor, which we'll get into as we get to the end. So, now, we move on to Nakamura versus Sami Zayn. This match was the fucking shit.
It was
Simple
everything
as
you
that.
expected it to be.
It was the fucking shit. Nakamura I've heard of. I knew who he was. Never really seen the guy in-ring performance. But overall, my God, man. He was fucking awesome with Sami Zayn. I couldn't believe the audience, man. They were saying, "Fight forever." I couldn't believe they were chanting that shit. That was fun. It felt like the match was going to go on forever, to be honest with you, too. It was freaking nuts.
What do you know about Nakamura, John?
John's on mute right now. I don't know
He is.
why. Yeah, if you see his thing over
Yeah,
there,
I
it
know.
shows his mic's on mute.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's having technical difficulties or he's just,
Well, okay,
whatever.
I'll re-ask him when he
We'll
comes.
go back to him once he's back on, but for right
Yeah,
now,
so
we'll just
I'm
continue
like
talking
you.
about
I had
this
no
match.
idea. I had no idea who Nakamura was, except that he came from New Japan. I thought maybe he was a member of the Bullet Club. So I guess I
No,
was wrong.
yeah, they had a guy from the Bullet Club. He was Asian, but it wasn't Nakamura. Nakamura was actually distant from the Bullet Club. He was more the international New Japan Wrestling Champion, which is their secondary heavyweight title, I would just say, or maybe their Intercontinental Championship, but they give it a lot more prestige than WWE does with their Intercontinental title. They at least give the International New Japan Wrestling title main event spots sometimes on their pay-per-view events. But in all honesty, Nakamura put on a hell of a performance. Now, his gimmick, I don't know about his gimmick. Kind of reminds me of a Japanese version of fucking Tyler Breeze.
Well, you can take it what you want, but wrestling ability-wise, it was spot on. I enjoyed the match whatsoever.
Oh, yeah. Wrestling-wise, he's an outstanding performer. Definitely outshines Tyler Breeze by a long shot.
Okay, we'll lay off Breeze because he doesn't even count in this. But for Sami Zayn to, in the back of his mind, be concentrated on a ladder match, for him to put on a match like that, that takes dedication in my book.
Did you guys say anything? I got a phone call from my dad. He was checking on.
Oh yeah, John, we were talking about our thoughts on the Nakamura Zayn match, and I was going to ask you your thoughts on Nakamura.
Yeah, we haven't gotten past that match yet, so you didn't miss anything. We were just kind of just blabbering on about some things about Nakamura and his in-ring work and my opinion about his gimmick look and everything else. It kind of reminded me of Tyler Breeze, in a way. But
Yeah,
his in-ring performance outshines Tyler Breeze by far and beyond what Tyler Breeze can do. So yeah, me personally, overall, the match itself was a 4.5 out of 5. I don't know why I make it a 4.5 out of 5 and not a 5, but I don't know. It just seemed like it kind of had its slow moments. Unlike the tag team titles match, it was fast paced from beginning to end. This one had its slow moments, but overall, action wise, it was pretty damn close as being the show stealer. Definitely enjoyed watching this. This was definitely a 4.5 out of 5 stars. John, give us some intake on your opinion about the match as well, since you didn't have any chance to say anything at this point.
Yeah, I thought the match was very good, very, fast-paced action, and crowd, they were very, very into everything that was going on. And we got a very, very good match out of these two guys. And Nakamura, not he's a great wrestler, but it's just his gimmick. Well, like he kind of acts like a goofball a little bit, kind of weird.
very
Yeah.
flamboyant, you would say?
What'd you say?
Flamboyant.
Oh yeah, flamboyant. Yeah, so it was a good
I,
match. I give it like a 4 out of 5. It was a good match.
That's around the same thing I'd give it.
what was your reaction, John, when they were chanting "Fight Forever"?
I was like, we still have 2 more matches on the show. You can't fight forever.
Yeah. Here's something
I
that
just,
I think would have been freaking awesome for the
oh,
audience to say, which would have been great. The audience chanting, "This is Mania."
that would have been.
I,
Oh,
I would have been on the floor laughing if they would have chanted. I don't know why no one chanted that.
well,
Because, quite honestly, in all retrospect, everybody in the wrestling internet community is saying that this event was going to be better than WrestleMania 32. And for no one to chant that with the amount of people they had, I was a bit surprised. Especially it would have been funny if they did that and Stephanie McMahon was also in the audience
well,
watching the event
was.
too.
Yeah, guys,
Yeah.
I gotta go. My dad's here and he wants to check on everything outside the house about the
All
shoot.
right, no problem, man. Um, definitely. We'll talk more about the NXT Takeover event with you on Random Wrestling Talk. All right.
Yeah, sorry about what's going on. Sorry.
No, it's cool, dude. No problem. It's more important about your well-being and that comes secondary. So anyway, man, be safe. I'll speak to you later.
All right, thanks. Bye.
You're welcome, man. Bye. All right.
Okay.
Fortunately, ladies and gentlemen, we do apologize that our third co-host here is not able to do the whole entire show with us. He's just having technical difficulties at his home, and I'm not going to get into detail about that. That's not something I don't think he'd appreciate me doing. So I do apologize to you guys about the constant him showing up and then disappearing, but he is trying to be part of the review, and I definitely appreciate that on his part, and I'm pretty sure Matthew appreciates it as well. But anyway, moving on with the show and the review.
As show must go on.
Yes, sir. So as we were saying, Nakamura and Sami Zayn putting on an outstanding event. I think it would have been absolutely wonderful if the audience would have screamed, "This is Mania," simply
No,
because
yeah, but let's be frank. This was a WrestleMania style match. There's no way. And
style
that
match.
should
It
have been.
wasn't just a style match. It was the whole entire event. This felt like a
Oh,
WrestleMania event.
yeah. I mean, I was even joking that WrestleMania should be, instead of not be following this, they should be headlining. They should pretty much be the opening act for NXT.
Exactly. Here's the deal. My personal opinion. I think that about almost every single match on this card for NXT Takeover could have taken over some of the crappy matches that are being added to this card on WrestleMania 32. I could give you one right now. That NXT Tag Team Titles match should be replacing that tag team match. Simple as that. That match
Oh,
sucks dick. That shouldn't even be on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown. It's a crappy freaking match. I don't have any idea why they're doing it. The Sami Zayn Nakamura match. Fortunately, Sami Zayn's got a rivalry with Kevin Owens, so I wouldn't have done that. I would have kept it on NXT Takeover. Baron Corbin, Austin, no, fuck that shit. That would be the
okay,
crap
yeah.
to me.
All right, so we'll move on here. So, thoughts on the women's title match?
I was very impressed with the match. I just was not happy with the end result. But there was no cheating involved. There was no screw job involved, which was very nice to see, even though I didn't get what I wanted. I wanted Bayley to walk out retaining the title. But Asuka was very good in this match. She was not doing any heel tactics. She didn't really try to screw Bayley over. She just had a regular, authentic, nice event with uh, Bayley and won the match hands down.
It was
She
a
passed
Bailey
out
put
and
up,
couldn't answer the count.
Bailey put up one hell of a fight. That's all I gotta say about that. Even though she lost, I mean, it went down to the wire.
This
And
match, here's the deal. This match displayed a story within a match. That's what this whole thing did. And that is what makes a real good storyteller a good storyteller, when you can produce a story within a match and you don't have to do
yeah,
anything else.
We have Bailey here, which has been basically the underdog in the women's division against Asuka, who is pretty much an undefeated carnivore who's been taking out everyone she's been up against. So I agree with William Regal, who said that on NXT a couple of weeks ago that Asuka was the number one contender and she deserved a shot for the title.
And the other good thing about Asuka is she may be this, like, I don't think she's really a villain, but she's a fucking killer. And she's not somebody you want to mess with. But she's not the type of person who's a disrespectful punk or is going to cheat to beat you. She's just going to beat you fairly, and that's the end of that. Basically, I like how they put Asuka. She's a deadly mass weapon of destruction, you could say.
Yeah.
With her feet, her in-ring ability, and everything. She can do a lot of MMA moves, rear naked chokes, arm bars, and the way she, gets those arm bars connected was just unreal in that match against Bayley. I could not believe how good she
He
put
turned
that
Bailey
hold on
into a
her.
pretzel.
Huh?
Basically turned Bailey into a pretzel.
Yeah, she really did. I have to agree. Um, Bailey, unfortunately, she was basically in a situation where there was no win for her. I think she was just, based on the story they were telling, is she fought her heart out, but she just did not have the capabilities that night to overcome the great skills of Asuka. And that's really what it was. It was more of an authentic story that was being used in a sporting type feel. And I think that is very well put together. And it's very simple. They don't have to do nothing hard or difficult. It's a very simplistic storyline that's put on by two athletic competitors in the middle of a ring.
And didn't you compare Asuka to Becky Lynch?
No, I compared Bailey to Becky Lynch.
Okay.
Because Bailey and Becky Lynch remind me very much of similar characteristics. They're both always trying to be positive and happy and all that stuff. Sasha Banks, she's just an absolute beast and mean bitch. But she wants to be what she wants to be, the absolute best, which is something you got to respect about her. And Charlotte, she's just a copycat of her father now at this point.
Which is
But
it actually has a lot of good talent. And now that you bring that up, I'm actually looking forward to that triple threat match. So you think that match is going to be anywhere close to this?
oh, most definitely. I think this. I think the triple threat Divas title match is going to be a hell of a match. Despite the build up towards it, if they allow them to do what they did in NXT and put this on a WrestleMania match, they will be unbelievable. And I don't see why they wouldn't. So, in all honesty, we're going to see a Divas title classic for the very first time in WrestleMania history. Because there ain't no WrestleMania Divas title match I ever seen that made history, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, if they had done, say, Lita versus Trish Stratus at WrestleMania, then that's a possibility. But since they never did that,
Yeah, I don't see any women's title match was ever making history. This one definitely will. This has got all the makings of making history. This is like taking Rock, Triple H, and Stone Cold Steve Austin and putting them in the first ever triple threat match. That should have happened, but it didn't. And that's what this match is going to be. It's definitely the only thing that was bad about it was the build up towards it. The whole thing was just, they just kind of, it was flat. There was nothing that helped it really build a lot of steam behind it. The only thing that we can look forward to is we all know that those three women can put on a good performance in a ring. So that's about it. The match overall for Asuka and Bailey, I give this a 4 out of 5 star match. I think it was pretty decent. It did have its slow moments. I didn't like how the ending went. It was kind of sudden, but it happens in sports in reality. So I mean, that's something that you just got to accept. So in all honesty, I give this a 4 out of 5 stars.
Same here. I mean, like you said, in UFC, if someone puts you in a submission hold, you can't get out of it. You're pretty much done. So that was a legit win by Asuka.
Exactly. They did they made a realistic situation in a storyline scripted match, and that's a very good thing to do. Because it makes you feel like you're watching an authentic show, and that's what we deserve. We deserve for our intelligence not to be insulted, and NXT doesn't do that. The sad thing is WWE does. But anyway, moving on to the main event. Finn Balor versus Samoa Joe. I am so fucking pissed off at the fact Finn Balor retained the championship against Samoa Joe. I wanted Samoa Joe to walk away the man finally as an NXT World Heavyweight Champion. Unfortunately, he did not. The one positive thing I can say to this match is there was an outstanding story being built up here. You see, Samoa Joe was beating the shit out of Finn Balor. As the match goes on, near the end, you see Samoa Joe's eyes. He starts going, what the fuck? He's like having this look on his face, like telling a story that maybe I can't beat this guy. He had doubt. And Finn Balor, at the end of the day, walked away victorious. That is the one positive thing I could take out of this whole match. But I'm not going to, I'll go ahead and continue more once I've given you Matthew some time to talk.
Because I'm going to get into more details, but what do you think give it a score as?
You mean the rating of the match? Yeah, I think I'd give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. And I think that's more me being biased at the fact that Samoa Joe lost the match. That's really why I put it as a 3.5.
The end result for me was a surprise because I was under the impression due to various comments from JD from New York 206 and Joe Cronin, that the idea was that Finn Balor was going to drop the title to Samoa Joe. Now, this goes to Vince wanting to bring Finn to the main roster, Triple H saying he wants to keep Finn on NXT, so you get what you get. So you can be upset that Joe lost. I can be upset that Joe lost. I can be happy that Finn won, and we can continue seeing more good matches on NXT. You get what you get. Now, the one thing about this match I did not kind of like, but I have to accept because it's a legit reason, was the fact that they kept stopping the match to check up on Joe's eye.
Yep, that I have to say was the absolute killer of this match. It slowed the momentum down. It slowed the action down. It slowed even the fans' reaction to this match. This whole thing about
booing.
I know. I was booing at home, okay? I was saying, what the fuck is this? This is a wrestling match. This isn't boxing. There's no rounds. It's not UFC. I mean, if I was thinking, you know what I thought they were going to do, which would have been a first ever in a wrestling match? They were going to stop the match because Samoa Joe had such a severe cut that they were afraid he was going to go blind, and that's how they would have stopped the match, and Finn Balor walks away as the champion.
Well, to be fair, they did the same thing with Owens and Sami Zayn, where they stopped the match because apparently Zayn couldn't continue because he was too beaten up.
But no, that's different. Hold on, that's different. Sami Zayn was knocked out. He wasn't moving. That's different. That's a knockout. But Joe wasn't knocked out. Joe was destroying Finn Balor the whole time. And he's bleeding underneath his eye, and it was swelling up. And I thought they were going to do like what they've done in real sports, where if a guy's swollen eye is getting bad or affecting their vision, they would just stop the fight, and that's the end. And that whoever is not, whoever is the champion retains the title, or if you are the champion and you can't continue, you lose the title kind of situation. I thought that's what was going to happen. I was like, don't you fucking dare do that, because if you do, I will fucking go crazy on your ass on this review.
Yeah, because I know in real sports, when you have a cut over your eye, you're worried about blood getting in there, so you got to take precautions. And let me ask you, did it look like Joe had a real cut from that headbutt?
Yes, he did. He had a cut right underneath his eye. It was right over here. And it was slightly swollen, but it wasn't affecting his vision. It was just getting all over his face. And they were just trying to clean it up because they didn't want it, because they're a PG show. And that's the thing.
And there's the real problem. Vince doesn't like to see real blood. Boy. But yeah, that's the thing about the match. Yes, that's the one thing about the match. I will admit that I'm going to give it the same score as you as a 3.5. Because all in all, I mean, I like the idea that Finn countered the Gokia clutch into a pin roll and got the 1, 2, 3. But to constantly stop the match to clean Joe up when, from what you said, the cut was under his eye. It's not like the blood can get into his eye unless they smeared it in there when they were cleaning.
That would have been a little bit weird if they would have went about doing that. That would have been strange. I think that would have been pretty fucked up.
When Finn kicked out with the muscle buster, I was thinking, oh shit, what's gonna happen next?
Once that happened, I knew that Finn Balor was gonna win. Unless he was gonna submit, and I didn't think that was gonna happen either. I wouldn't make Finn Balor end up losing by submission to anybody, to be quite honest with you. I think he's an outstanding performer, and for him to lose to somebody by submission, especially with him being in just the developmental system at this point, if you're gonna have Finn Balor tap out to anybody, you have him tap out at a WrestleMania event or something like that. Some big event, not like an NXT Takeover event that, maybe somebody, isn't too familiar with Finn Balor. You want to save that kind of a moment at a big event. And definitely a WrestleMania event would have been the best place for him to submit to somebody. So yeah, I'm glad that
now,
happened.
and now that you bring up WrestleMania, now it's up in the air where I have no idea what's going to happen because I mentioned this to you, and you think you watched the video too that JD from New York talked about possibly having Finn debut on WrestleMania instead of the night before by interfering with Undertaker.
I think what they are going to do with Finn Balor is there's either one of two things that are going to happen. Finn Balor is going to have the same type of workload that Kevin Owens did back in 2015, or they're going to have Samoa Joe debut on the main roster. And to be quite honest with you, the way Samoa Joe's been just losing to Finn Balor seems to be the catalyst of NXT. I think it's best that he just stays in NXT at this point until he loses the title to somebody else and move Samoa
Rude?
Joe up to the main roster.
Like lose the title to Rude?
No, not another TNA wrestler.
I'm just joking because the fact that we saw Bobby Roode in the audience, I think that was pretty funny.
No, I'm saying not even Austin Aries. Now that he's even debuted on the NXT roster, I think that the guy that should win the title from Finn Balor should be like Apollo Crews. Trying to think of some other names. Maybe even Sami Zayn if they decide to keep him as a dual worker for NXT and WWE's main roster. But yeah, I think they should go for somebody who's pretty much been
on the
working
a little bit. And
hasn't had their big break in other companies like TNA and stuff like that. I think those guys should be just like kind of working with the younger talent and should be looked at like Chris Jericho kind of character. Every once in a while, I'll give them the championship belt or something like that. But otherwise, I don't see these guys as being like the catalyst guys carrying the belt unless their main star attraction is being moved up to the main roster, and then you give them the belt. So Samoa Joe not winning the belt definitely tells me Finn Balor ain't going to the main roster.
Yeah, and which I'm actually happy for that.
Well, I mean, quite honestly, I don't think that that would have been a bad idea. That might keep people's attention and attraction towards the main roster going. Because quite honestly, I'm losing absolute patience with the main roster at this point. As you already seen, I've already done a WCW retro review.
No more Raw reviews for you, except for maybe to see what they do for next Monday.
And
okay, go on.
And tomorrow I'm doing ECW's retro review of January 5th of 1998. Which was kind of a little bit of an exciting little event that happened for 45 minutes. So definitely tune in for that if you want to definitely take a look at these retro reviews I'm going to continue doing. Also, I kind of like the idea that I'm doing that because it's making my channel a lot more active. I'm putting more videos out there per week. So yeah, it definitely is keeping my channel very busy on top of the fact that I'm not, watching this negative bullshit that pisses me off every single Monday night.
Yeah, because you want to make videos that you enjoy doing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not getting a lot of reviews. I didn't get a lot of reviews on the WCW event, but quite honestly, if I'm gonna do reviews, I want to do reviews that I'm gonna sound positive more often than being negative.
Okay.
And definitely, Raw right now is not the place where I want to do reviews because all I'm going to do is bash the living shit out of it and repeat the exact same thing over and over.
Reviews.
That's the same fucking crap. It's garbage.
Yeah, pretty much so. Hey, before we wrap things up, I want to also ask you what you think of Balor's entrance. Because when he does the demon gimmick, it always seems pretty interesting how
I don't know what the fuck he was doing. It seems like all of a sudden they are all like trying to do Terry Funk's Chainsaw Charlie thing. I don't understand that. I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know what the chainsaw was for.
No, I finally figured out what the meaning of that was. The thing is, when he was in London, when he was doing his demon gimmick, he was dressed up like, Hyde, Jekyll and Hyde. Here, he was trying to imitate the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, okay. That makes sense, I guess. If I would have known that beforehand, now it does make sense, but still it seems pretty stupid to me, but whatever.
It's this gimmick, but I finally figured out why he was doing a chainsaw, because I remember what he did in London, so it kind of makes sense now.
Yep, pretty much. But here's my overall opinion about this show. This show, I haven't watched any NXT shows at all. I've watched only the Takeover pay-per-view type of events. And every single time I watch it, I see a story being told in each and every match. WWE, in comparison, you don't see a story being told in the match. You don't see any grit, determination, struggle, anything. And that's why WWE right now is in the shambles that it's in. There's nothing being told.
No,
The only thing they do is the little dumb confrontations that they have between the characters on the show when they do promos. And here's the small problem with that. Their promos absolutely fucking suck.
The only match that has a good storyline build-up is the Hell in a Cell match.
That didn't even have that good of a build-up either. The video packages of Shane McMahon working his tail off and trying to get himself back into in-ring performance was about the only good storytelling they were going with going into this. Everything else was just this boring-ass, same old shit. I'm going to bury your son. Your blood's going to be on your hands, Vince.
Yeah. But the fact there actually, when Shane, came back and talked about the problems that WWE is currently having with management problems, that's actually a pretty good storyline.
Yeah, that was good. Here's what would have made a lot more sense and would have been a lot more entertaining for the story build-up for Shane and Undertaker. Shane could have looked at Undertaker and said, "Why are you doing this? What do you gain out of this by beating me and stopping me from running Monday Night Raw? I mean, all you are is being Vince McMahon's bitch." That would have worked.
I'll just see what happens. Now as with every Takeover event, I'm going to ask you this question again. Will you start watching NXT on a weekly basis, and if not, start putting up videos? I have to keep asking you this because every week I keep hearing you that I hate the current product. I'm sick and tired. I'm going to drop Raw. If you're going to do that, if you're going to do retro shows, more power to you, but at least watch NXT where they actually care about wrestling.
Yeah, but here's the thing. This is what blows me away, and I can't understand this. If they can do it in NXT, why can't they do it on the WWE main roster? It doesn't make any sense.
Well, because Vince is a senile, crippled-ass bastard, doesn't know anything about wrestling nowadays. He won't let Triple H run the show, even though he's pretty much the main heel on the show, but management-wise, no.
Let's be quiet. You want to know what should happen? What should happen is we should see NXT cancel out SmackDown. NXT should be taking over SmackDown's airtime on Thursday nights. They should have their own show on Thursday nights at 8 o'clock. Mauro Ranallo should be broadcasting with Todd Phillips and Brian Saxton. Jerry Lawler should be on Raw with JBL and and Michael Cole, and that's it. That's all it should be on. It should be about NXT and Monday Night Raw. It shouldn't be about SmackDown. SmackDown's not that important. They don't make it important. They don't show any kind of care to it. So why bother having it? Might as well have TV
SmackDown
on.
has pretty much become a secondary show. I mean, it's basically become Nitro. I mean, my mistake. It's basically become Thunder.
What, SmackDown?
Yeah, I mean, SmackDown used to be, its separate brand, its own storylines, had its own title. Now it's like basically a continuation. Like, oh, you want to watch SmackDown to find out what they're going to build up for Raw on the next Monday.
Well, I don't know if you've noticed this. They've actually been using some storyline build-ups for WrestleMania on SmackDown where it should have been important to Monday Night Raw.
But the thing is, it's basically you watch Raw and then you watch SmackDown to find out what they're going to carry over into storylines and what they're going to build up for next week's Raw. It's basically SmackDown, basically Raw's bitch.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Quite honestly, I think that
The Rock still. I mean, how do you feel? How do you think The Rock feels about how his show has become?
Quite honestly, I think that they need to get rid of SmackDown altogether. If you're not going to make it important like Monday Night Raw, then there's no point in having it on there at all. That's my honest opinion about that. I think they should just have NXT on public television.
Yeah. But again, I'm going to ask you, will you consider watching NXT on a weekly basis, even though it is a 1 hour show on the network, or at least
I'm not going to put myself on the spot right now until later on, until I officially can commit to it. I'm thinking about it. Okay?
All right.
That's the first, you never heard me say that. You never heard me say I think about it, okay?
That too.
So,
you don't have to watch it on Wednesdays, but you can at least catch it up whenever you want.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I mean, I'm definitely thinking about it. It's just, for me, it's weird. It's like me going ahead and wanting to watch minor league baseball over Major League Baseball. It's just awkward.
Yes, and I understand that, but the point is, when you have AAA outdoing the Major League pros, that's a sad state.
Yeah, which gives me more reason not to want to watch the damn company itself. I'd rather just use their library content to view when wrestling was actually good.
Okay, use their library content to watch NXT, or go on, or if you don't want to do that, go to your that wrestling website you go on to watch all your indie stuff or whatnot. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. As long as you're gonna consider it, I'm happy. Okay with that.
I am definitely considering it because this event definitely showed me something that I could not believe. They were telling me a story within a match. They were producing an authentic sporting event with people performing athletic abilities, putting on a great show, had the entire crowd from practically beginning to end screaming their full heads off, showing them a good time throughout the entire event. Felt like you were on a wild ride, and the audience was just bananas from beginning to end practically, and there was no stopping them.
And before we wrap things up again, I'm going to go back to Zayn and Nakamura, where there was no build-up. They were just hyping up Nakamura's debut. And, Sami Zayn has got that ladder match to think about. The fact that he could put on that type of match with that mindset, again, I repeated this earlier, blew me away at the dedication that he has.
Well, it's not even really dedication. It's the fact that he was willing to do that with Nakamura and worth of action when he actually knows he's going to be in a ladder match, where I have a very good gut feeling he's going to have a spot on that match where he's going to do something outrageously insane, where he probably could jeopardize his body. So with all that being said, it's definitely insane for him to even go about wanting to do a 20-minute match with Nakamura when that match should have just been about 10 minutes. Because the guy is going to be in a match that I know for a fact he's going to end up doing a crazy stunt. It's simple as that. There's no denying that. If you don't believe that Sami Zayn's going to do something crazy in a ladder match, you're out of your damn mind. This guy does some insane things already.
Owens is going to be part of that crazy stunt.
Oh, most definitely. Owens is, but everybody in that match outside of Sami Zayn's in a very healthy state of mind. I don't think they're doing any live events leading into WrestleMania. I think they're just pretty much hyping up WrestleMania going in.
No,
so yeah.
They're doing their access stuff. They're getting ready for the Hall of Fame tomorrow. Tomorrow or whatnot. So they're not gonna do any live events or whatever. Nothing that would put them in jeopardy, mind you. Because they're God, we add more to the injury list the night before.
That's what I was about to say, Matthew. I mean, if they had any more injuries, I think Vince McMahon would have a nervous breakdown. But anyway, yeah, definitely a great event. I enjoyed watching it. I had a blast watching it. I'm sure everyone who took a chance to watch this event enjoyed themselves as well. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video with us. Well, not watching it with us, but taking a look at this review and seeing what we had to think about it and what our thoughts were on it. Leave your comments and opinions down below. As always, I always get back to you guys on that. And definitely smack it down on the subscribe button. Have a great night, guys. Bye.